Good morning, everyone. I hope you had a great weekend. So my name is Professor Michelle Leonard. I am faculty over in the Marston Science Library. I was with you last week in your class, and today we are going to wrap up with EndNote. So I've asked everyone to create an EndNote account, and you will be able to follow along with me if you have that capability to do the EndNotes or follow along if you have a dual screen or watch, and I believe this session is recorded. I am also going to monitor the chat regularly, so if you have questions, please ask me in the chat. We have a lot of people online today, so I'm not able to see if you do raise your hand. So yes, your EndNote account was supposed to be made with your UF email. Once you create the account with your UF email, then you can change the account, and all that information was sent to you in your Canvas. But I will share my screen and I will go ahead and send you the EndNote link. If you have yet to create your account, it will take several minutes because you have to approve it through your email. So here is the link. And I will show you how to access that. So let me go ahead and share my screen and we will get started. Everyone who comes in, I am going to ask that you mute. That will be the easiest way, so we don't have a lot of background. So, okay. Are there any questions before we get started? All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So as I explained last Tuesday, the entire library system has a new website design. So I specifically went over the Marston Science Library. And today we are going to go over EndNote, and we are going to use the databases to populate our EndNote accounts. Remember that under accounts, this is where you will find your EndNotes. So if you click on that, and I will warn you, when you use EndNote, you will be logging in a lot, depending on your browser and operating system. So that can be kind of annoying, but that's how the system works. So with EndNote, the whole premise of using EndNote is to store, organize, and manage all of the citations. So once you are in the databases and you want to save some citations, you can do it all through EndNote. Many of you are probably familiar with EasyBib, and with EasyBib, you copy and paste sections of the citation into EasyBib and then generate a bibliography. With EndNote, it is a little more robust, where there is no copying and pasting of citations into specific areas. You just export the citation from a database, it imports into EndNote, and you can create your bibliography. Plus, with EndNote, there are over 6,000 different citation styles from which to choose. So depending if your professor wants a specific citation style, we have that here with EndNote. Plus, EndNote is linked to every single database. How you access EndNote is a little different on the databases, and that's what I want to show you today. So we'll go over the steps of how to use EndNote, and then we'll go ahead and do some exporting of citations from databases into EndNote. So here we have the interface for EndNote. So if you are just new to EndNote, all of this is going to be empty. This is my personal EndNote account, so that's why you see so many. Across the top are the ribbons where you will utilize the My References, the Collect, the Organize, and the Format. So these are the 4 most important features that you need to learn with EndNote. For the My References, it's also listed down the left-hand column. And you see my references, and I have over 1,400 references in my EndNote account right now, and you see them all displayed on the main screen. Anytime you export citations from a database into EndNote, they will automatically go in the unfiled. From the unfiled, this is where you create a group and you put that citation into a group. So as you can see, I have a lot of different groups. I'm actually working with a faculty member in engineering. He's writing a textbook. So we have all the different subjects for his textbook, and I am sharing the citations with him, which is another option. So if you are doing collaborative work, you can share your citation folder with a professor, with your student group, whatever, as long as they have an EndNote account and you know their EndNote email. Or you can keep it just to yourself, so you're not required to share. So let's get started here. Collect. Under the collect references, you will probably, if you ever need to manually add a reference, you will go under collect and you will do new reference. And with new reference, this is probably more the look and feel of EasyBib that you're used to, where you can select the reference type. So if it was a computer program, a data set, a discussion forum, a figure, a grant, an interview. So any type of reference you can import or create a new one. And then if you just click, you can highlight, copy, and paste into the relevant information. And then it will save in your unfiled. So I'm just going to do a test here just to show you. Okay, so with that, the reference is saved, and if you notice, it goes into my unfiled. So if I click on unfiled, it's right here. And what it shows you is that the year, the title, when it was added to EndNote. So they call it the library, when it was added to EndNote. And this is if I wanted to put it in a folder, if I wanted to add an attachment, or a figure attachment. If it was an actual article, all I have to do is click on Find It at UF, and it would take me to the article in the ebook. I can also sort my references by author, year, title of the article, title of the journal, time cited. So if you're only looking at highly cited articles, when it was added to the library or added to EndNote, and when it was last updated. So that means if you go in and manually update and add a note into the citation. So there's a lot of different ways that you can sort your references. So for example, if I wanted to do added to library, obviously that test would come up that I just used. So that again is under collect reference and then the unfiled. All right. If I want to delete, all I have to do is click and hit delete, and then it goes away. Organize. So organize is where you can share your folders with other people. So you just go to manage my groups. Remember, folders are also called groups. You find all of your groups, you would click on share, click on manage sharing, start sharing this group. Here you need to know the address of the person you want to share with, and you need their EndNote email, because then it syncs the folder, your folder, with theirs. You can give them read-write access, hit apply, and close the window. And then if you go back to manage my groups, you can see that it's been shared. So you can, if you're done with an assignment, you can uncheck the box and it'll stop sharing. You can also rename and delete as you want. So if I did not want this anymore, I could just go ahead and delete. So that's where you organize. Format's pretty important feature to know in EndNote. So you have your bibliography, and this is where, say you have an assignment where you need to create a bibliography. Under references, so whatever folder or group you have, you would highlight that folder. Now, bibliographic style, this is very important, and you'll see as I go through some of the examples, you need to click on select favorites to add into your favorites group. Remember, I told you there are over 6,000 different citation styles. Unfortunately, they're all alphabetical, and there's no really easy way to find the citations. So you just have to scroll. So that's one downside of the EndNote. But you want to copy to your favorites. So as you can see here, I have some select favorites. I can have up to 25. So this is important, especially if you're working with faculty. You have one citation style required for your English class, another citation style required for your engineering class or your sociology class. You can add them to your favorites. And you do need citations in citation styles listed in your favorites. So if you want to add a citation style, all you have to do is scroll down and find the citation you want, hit copy to favorites, and there it is. If you want to remove a citation, because you can only have 25, just highlight it, remove from favorites. Okay, so that's very important to get my favorites added. So then when you create your bibliography, you go to references, bibliographic style, say I want to do it in APA 6th edition. And here you have the option HTML, plain text, or rich text file. I'm just going to show you an example right now. I'm going to hit print preview of a folder, and then it easily created my bibliography. So boom, just like that, bibliography done. So you are going to, so I could copy and paste into my Word document. You are going to have to do some manual editing anytime you create a bibliography. So for example, this exported, there's no all capitals of an article title within APA style, so I'd have to go in and just do the lowercase feature in Word. And also just make sure that you have proper nouns capitalized, etc., because sometimes the citations don't transfer over cleanly, so that's why you have to go in and clean it up. So within the APA style, this all looks good. You have your author, your year, article title, full journal article, journal title in italics, the volumes in italics, the issue, and the page number. So sometimes you'll see a DOI instead, which is perfectly acceptable. DOI is the digital object identifier. That is alphanumeric or just alpha, and it's the unique ID to that journal or to that article. So say I made a mistake and I needed it in a different citation style, all I have to do is highlight the different citation style, print preview, and then here it is. So as you can see, it looks a little differently. Or if I wanted to add something else, a different citation style, so you get the point that as long as the citations are in EndNote, you can change it to whatever style you want. The Cite While You Write plugin is very important. This is what you will have to do on your local laptop or computer. Cite While You Write is the plugin that goes into Microsoft Word, and it's for a Macintosh or Windows, but please look over the system requirements to make sure that you have that requirement in place before you do the download. And what Cite While You Write will do is when you're writing your paper and you have an in-text citation, it will automatically put the citation style or the citation in your in-text, and then it'll create the bibliography. So your in-text citation and your bibliography will match. So that's very important, because if your in-text citations do not match your bibliography, or your bibliography does not match your in-text citations, if your professors use the anti-plagiarism software, Turnitin or Authenticate or something else, it could flag you for plagiarism, unintended or not, and that's a hassle you really don't want. So using Cite While You Write plugin is a great deterrent. And I will show you, once you download the Cite While You Write plugin, it will live on your ribbon up here in Word. So all you have to do is click on EndNote anytime you want to use it, and it syncs to your EndNote account. And then this is what it looks like. So if I want to type and I want to cite my source at the end of a sentence, all I have to do is insert citations. Here you can insert it by topic, or you can insert it by author. Then you just hit find and it'll find anything. And then all you have to do is find the citation you want. Hit insert, and it'll insert your citation in the text, and it'll create your bibliography. You can add more than one citation. Again, go to insert citations. And if you want to do a different topic, say you want to insert 3 different citations, hit insert. It'll do that, and then it'll create your bibliography. Now remember, I told you it was very important within EndNote to add to my favorites. Up here in style, it pulls from your favorites list. So remember, I had just added American Anthropologist. Say I want to reformat my paper to that citation style. All I have to do is click on that citation, and then it's reformulated. Or if I want to go ahead and do the citation style editors, so it changes automatically that citation style. So it's very nice, very easy to use. With that, are there any questions now? Before we move on. No? Everybody have it? Okay. So far we've seen the EndNote, how to make a shared folder, or how to make a manual citation, how to share your folder, how to create your bibliography, and how to install your Cite While You Write plugin. So before I leave, so we can do some searching. Anytime you want to go into your own reference, all you have to do is just click on that citation, and you can edit or modify it. So you have those editing capabilities. Anytime you want to add a citation to a folder, you just highlight in the square, click on Add Group. So right now, I'm going to just add it to a test group, the 2 I selected, and as you can see, there's 2 right here. So it moved it over automatically. So there is a question in the chat. Is that something that has to be done through Word instead of Google Docs? So I would caution you, if you use Google Docs, that there has been some problems with getting the citations in correctly. And there's a lot of manual cleanup that you will have to do. So the compatibility between EndNote and Google Docs is not great. So word of warning with that. Any other questions? Yes, no? Okay, so we are going to go ahead and do some searching. I am going to go back to the Marston Science Library, and I am going to go to databases. Oh, there's one more question here. Oh, okay, you're welcome. I'm going to go to databases. So remember on Tuesday, I let you know that every department has its own librarian, and we've created subject guides for you. And within those subject guides, we list databases that you should use. If you are in the sciences or social sciences, and you're at the Marston Science Library and you click on Science Databases, we have all those listed for you. And if you also remember from last Tuesday, I said there were 3 major vendors of the databases. There was the Web of Science, the ProQuest, and the EBSCO. So I'm just going to do those three searches today because they were all very different on how they export citations into EndNote. But I am going to go to all databases because I told you about the Academic Search Premier that everyone needs to know. And Academic Search Premier is by EBSCO. So anytime you see the word EBSCO beside a database, it will have the same look and feel. And there's a specific way you need to enter in your EndNote citations. So I am going to just do a topic, sea level rise. And if I want scholarly peer-reviewed journals, remember we went over the differences between original research and review articles last week. In this database, if you click on peer-reviewed journals, that's what you'll get. Published date, if we limit it to say the last 2 years, and then hit search. So with sea level rise, I put it in quotes, so I get that exact phrase. And here there's 2,000 citations, which is still a lot. I can narrow it down. So what about sea level rise? Maybe I want to talk about ice sheets. And then it updates. So I went from 2,000 down to 183. And if I wanted it in the English language, that's all there is. So I'm fine with just searching for some of these. And again, you have your citation where you have your article title, your authors, the journal citation. Here's your DOI. You have all the images and full text here. Remember, I also said within EBSCO host, some of the publishers do not allow for the PDF to be displayed on the main page. That doesn't mean we have it. We do have it. You just click on Find It at UF and it'll bring up that article. The only time we don't have it is you will see a Submit Interlibrary Long Request. So within EBSCO, any databases, to get citations exported into EndNote, you see this little file at the right of each citation. If you just click on that file to activate it, it'll turn yellow. And then when you're done searching, you go up into folder. These are the 3 I want. I'm going to select all. And EBSCO is a unique database. You work right to left, not left to right when exporting citations. So again, you work right to left, which is a little unusual. And then you hit export. When you hit export, you will want to direct export to EndNote Web. So depending on the vendor of the database, EndNote Online, EndNote Web are the same thing. You don't want the direct export EndNote. That will put you into the paid subscription of EndNote, which you don't need. You need the EndNote Web. So just highlight the EndNote Web. These are the citations. Hit save. And then once it's exported into EndNote, you will see that it put you in your EndNote. These are the 3 citations. You click on my references. Let's just see if they exported correctly. Remember, any citation you export goes directly into unfiled. Here are the 3. So that's how easy it is. I'm going to create a new group. Or you can add, but to create a new group, you'll see new group. And I'm going to do sea level rise. And I did, what did I do? Ice sheets. Okay, just to keep it as specific as possible. You want to name your folders relevant to your search. You don't want to name it after your dog or your grandma or your best friend, because then you don't know what topics are in that group. I'm going to hit OK. And as you can see, sea level rise ice sheets, there are my 3 citations. It's in my folder, and unfiled goes to 0. Then I can go ahead, click back into EBSCO host, go back and continue my searching or start a new search. So that's how you use EBSCOhost and EndNote together. Are there any questions with using EBSCO?
Can you show us how you got to the EBSCO again from the library database?
Sure, absolutely. Okay. So I'll start at the beginning. At the Marston Science Library homepage or any library homepage, when you click on Use a Database, you'll want to go to All Databases. And I can put this link up for you. And then this is just an alphabetical listing of every single database we own. And each library each library and each subject guide will recommend the databases for you. But this is the full listing.
Got it, thank you.
You're welcome. So, okay, so that was EBSCO. So the next one we are going to use is ProQuest. And ProQuest has 3 large collections, and then they also have subject-specific databases. So I'm going to use the larger collection as an example. I am just going to click on the Cite Premium Collection, or if you're on the database A to Z list, you would just go to S, down to Cite Premium Collection. And like I showed last week, ProQuest has a different look and feel to it. It also lists every single subject coverage. So within the Cite collection, I have all of these subject areas. So there's quite a bit. So it's a broad category, and it's from 1946 to present. So if I stick with my sea level rise in quotes, and I go for peer reviewed, I have 35,000, which is a lot, right? But then I'm going to narrow it down here. I'm going to update it, 35,000 down to 2,000. And then document type, I want the articles. I don't want commentaries or editorials. The subject area, so remember within ProQuest, I can narrow it down by this. So if I want coastal, it takes me from 35,000 to 2,000. Now I'm at 277. And for the location, I can choose the location as well. So I wanted just within the United States, so now I'm down to 43. Okay, so again, here's the citation. I can either open it up and look more in depth at the citation. Here's the PDF. And to export citations from any ProQuest database into EndNote, I just click on the box. Or I can do it directly from the record, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to do 3. To export into EndNote, you have to click on the 3 dots, all save options. And here you will use the RIS. So when you click on the RIS, it'll give you the information. Yes, I chose 3. I'm going to hit continue. I will get this box. Okay, so once you have your EndNote open, in ProQuest, you will get a box and you will do open with ResearchSoft Direct Export Helper. When you click OK, it'll ask you, remember how I told you you may have to log in a few times? This is one of the databases where you do have to log in. And if you're in engineering and you're using Engineering Village, you will have to log in. So here, once I log in, it says 3 references exported. Click OK. The one thing when you are using multiple databases and adding into EndNote, it opens up a new window every time. So make sure you're on the last window. And I like to refresh just to make sure that the citations come over. And here, these are the 3 from the unfiled. So if I click on the unfiled, these are the 3. Okay. If I want to add them to that folder I created just a few minutes ago, sea level rise and ice sheets, I can do that. Unfiled goes to 0, the ice sheets go to 6. So these were the databases from EBSCO and ProQuest. So here are the 6. So these are the 3 EBSCO, these are the 3 ProQuest databases. Any questions on how to export records from any ProQuest database into EndNote? Question. Could you go over that process again? I tried following along. Okay. So, yes, I can do that. And if you have problems with the ProQuest, if you can send me an email, and let me put my email in chat, I can troubleshoot with you a little more. There's my email. But to get into the ProQuest, whatever citation you want, all you have to do is add this button, or click on the button, go to the 3 dots, all saved options, click on RIS. Make sure your output is sent to RIS because they have different ones. So make sure it's selected to RIS and then hit continue. You should get an opening ProQuest documents, which is RIS formatted. If not, you can save the file and export it into EndNote, or you can do it manually and then hit OK. And then you'll log into your EndNote again. So hopefully that worked for you this time. If not, send me an email and we'll troubleshoot further. Okay? Because there's some software you may have to download. All right. So we've been through how to export citations from EBSCO, from ProQuest. Now I'm going to show you how to do it through Web of Science. So I'm going to go back to the Sciences, use the database. It'll take me here. Now if you're doing the all databases A to Z, just go to W for Web of Science. And within the Web of Science, if you remember, there are several databases. They all have the same look and feel. You have your biological sciences, your ag and nutrition, your medicine and allied health, your Latin American, Portuguese, Spain, South Africa citations, and your zoo record with animals, animal biology, taxonomy. I'm going to stick with the core collection. The Web of Science is, the vendor is Clearviewed Analytics. And this vendor also owns EndNote. So you'll see EndNote a lot and as predominant for any Web of Science database. And it's also very easy to add the citations. So again, if I do a basic search on sea level rise, and I'm going to do it within the last 5 years, I hit search. This is the look and feel as we saw last week, 6,000. And if I want to narrow it down to say oceanography, I could hit refine. And this time I only want review articles, not original research. I can refine, and now I'm down to 37. So now I can look at a review of all the original research that has been done on sea level rise in the past 5 years. And if you ever need to know, remember what search strategy you used, if you just go to the top left it lets you know. So within the Web of Science, just like the other databases, you can export directly from the record. Hit export. Here you have the option of desktop or online. Click on EndNote Online, so you do not have the desktop version. You only have the EndNote Online version. Or if you go back, again, you have the check boxes. Say you want these 3. You can also, if you are doing a lot of searching, you can add to a marked list. And when you add to a marked list, it allows you to search multiple pages. So on every page, what you have to do, you have to check the boxes, hit add to marked list, and then you can go on to the next page and then add to marked list. Then when you're done searching, you just go to your marked list and you will see the records, so the selected records. You can, what do you want added? So it doesn't matter to me if it's open access, it doesn't matter the usage count, or if it's highly cited. I don't need the Web of Science category. So you can select whatever you want. And then you hit export. And I'm going to export into online. And it's sending those 5 records directly into EndNote. Okay, so there it went sent. Now, if you don't want to do the marked list route, you do not have to. I'm going to go back and just limit to get back to my 37 articles. If you just want to add it from the database, just click on it, and up here, export into EndNote Online. That's the latest record. Hit export, and then it goes directly into EndNote Online. So see, every time it exports, you should get that, that notification. Within the Web of Science, all you have to do is go up to EndNote and click. It'll bring up EndNote, and here you can see I selected 6 citations. I look at unfiled. Here are the 6. And again, it tells me it was from the Web of Science. And all I have to do, I will put it in the folder I created for this class, the ice sheets. So now I've removed everything from my unfiled. I have 12 citations that we did today. And here are the 12. And I used 3 different databases. Now the hard part is to go through and read all of the articles, so I can add them to my paper. But remember, if we wanted to create a bibliography, we go up to Format, Bibliography. And here again, you have to select your reference. So I'm going to do the ice sheets, those 12. I'm going to add it in APA 6 style, and I'm just going to do a show and tell here. I'm going to print preview. You can also save it into your Word, and here it is. So these are the 12. To save it to your Word, all you have to do, you can do rich text format, hit save. It opens up your Word. Here are the citations. You'd have to do a quick cleanup, make sure everything is properly identified, and that's how you do your bibliography. So that's how easy it is. With that, are there any questions? So we learned how to export citations from EBSCO Databases, ProQuest Databases, and Web of Science. Is there any database, any other database you'd like me to cover at this time? Or do you think you have it? Because every EBSCO database looks the same, every ProQuest database looks the same, and every Web of Science database looks the same.
For the Web of Science, was there a check box for just seeing peer-reviewed journals? I didn't see that.
Yes, so in the Web of Science, that's a great question. Let me remove the reviews only. Within the Web of Science, the original research is going to be as an article.
Okay, so that's the equivalent of a peer-reviewed journal?
Yes, correct. In the Web of Science, that is the equivalent of a peer-reviewed journal. Now, again, you still have to verify that it is peer-reviewed. So, for example, when you bring up an article, you click on Find It at UF. Remember how you can tell if it's peer-reviewed? By the dates listed in the article. So yes, this is peer-reviewed. It was received by the journal from the author on August 7th, 2019. It was revised in May of 2020. It was accepted in July of 2020, and then it became available a few days later. So as long as you see these dates, received, accepted, revised, you know it's been peer-reviewed. Great question. Okay. Any other questions? Yes, no? Okay. Well, that is all I have today. If you are experiencing any problems exporting from ProQuest into EndNote or your Engineering Village into EndNote, please send me an email. Otherwise, send me an email if you have any further questions. I know we covered a lot today and we went pretty quickly, but I encourage you to practice this. It takes a little while to get the hang, to get the feel or the rhythm as you search. Remember, when you do a project, you need to identify your topic. You need to come up with a research statement, whether it's a hypothesis, a sentence, a statement. You need to identify the keywords, think of synonyms, figure out which databases you're going to use, and I would suggest 2 or 3 because as you can see here, we use the same topic, different databases, different articles came up within the searching. And then as you are searching any citation you like, put it in your EndNote. It's a lot easier to add too many citations than not enough and having to go back through and reconduct your searches. Also, you will find a lot of good articles within the bibliographies of the articles you like. You can easily put those into your EndNotes and also look at the recommended articles within the databases when they bring your journal up because they could be relevant. Okay, so I see one question. Do we need to submit anything for credit to be here? I will turn in your attendance once I log off. I submit the attendance sheet to Dr. Donnelly. I thank you for your time. And again, I thank you for your time today. And again, please feel free to reach out. I know it can be especially challenging in the online environment, but I am here to help you in any way possible. So thank you and have a great rest of your week.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.